Hey guys, it's Jasmine, also known as Accusing Eyes 92 here on YouTube, and welcome to the first long-awaited video for The Boundless Path. And our first video is actually going to be an activity video. I apologize for it taking so long. I was initially intending on letting it build up a little bit of subscribers for about a month or so, and then starting it, and I got really wrapped up in work. We picked up a whole bunch of new stores and didn't have anybody to cover it. So, of course, I'm the only one in this town right now that can cover the demos without having somebody come down from Lexington or somewhere, so I had to do it. But we're going to get started right now. We're going to have a video today, and it's really super short, and then probably tomorrow I'm going to do the first lesson video. So the first thing I need you to do, as you can see from the title, is get a book of shadows. Now, a book of shadows, you can also call it a grimoire, a journal, anything you want to, really. Your book of shadows is basically your record of your spiritual journey, and it's also going to wind up being basically your reference book for your path. Now, this can be a spiral notebook, it can be a pad of sticky notes, it can be a journal, it can be a vlog, it can be a file on your computer. Now, the only thing is, I would suggest having some kind of actual pen and paper. And the reason for that is there's a certain amount of magic in itself in writing, because on a computer you're just typing away, typing, and you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. And we're going to cover this later, but magic is all about intent. And when you are writing something, you are fully concentrating on every letter that you are writing, especially if you're transposing something, because you need to concentrate in order to get it correct. So when you're doing that, you are infusing it literally with magic, with your own energy. And it winds up actually making your Book of Shadows one of a witch's most powerful tools, in my opinion. Now, some people will say, do not show your Book of Shadows to anyone. I totally disagree. Now, if you're uncomfortable showing your Book of Shadows to someone, then don't do it. That's a totally different subject entirely. A lot of this comes back to the witch's pyramid, which part of it is to be silent, to keep silent about your path. But I think we're in a time where that's not actually as relevant anymore. And I'm very big on sharing your path with other people. So if somebody's interested and you trust that person, or even if you don't, but, I mean, if you are comfortable sharing it, go ahead. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and show you my old Book of Shadows and the Book of Shadows that I'm working on right now to give you a couple ideas on what you can do. Okay, so here's a spiffy view of my couch with my old Book of Shadows. As you can see, it's just a spiral notebook. Now, it's very, very thin because I am a perfectionist, and if I screw something up, as you can tell, I rip it out. So I'm just going to give you a quick little flip through. The first thing you want in your Book of Shadows is some kind of a book blessing, or maybe even just stating out your intent. For example, mine says the date that I started it, and that it is going to be for recording information, correspondences, anything I learn on my path for my own spiritual growth for myself and those in the future. And then I ask the gods and goddesses to bless it, and then sign my name. And then you just want to write down everything that you learn. Now, mine is in a nice particular order because I've had several Books of Shadows before this one even. And I actually have two. I don't know where my other one is. But when I was doing this, I actually split it up into two books. And I put all of my information, my correspondences, like my elements, and then my cardinal direction correspondences, and everything like that in here, the 13 moons. This is all informational. And then I put my meditations, my rituals, my spell work in another spiral notebook, which I don't know exactly where it is. But you can put it all in the same book. You can put it in order of how you learned it. That's how a lot of people recommend it, because then it becomes a record of your journey. I like to start out that way and then organize it a little bit better, so that then when I'm going through looking for something, I know where it is intuitively. I can just flick open to it, or, you know, I have a general idea of where it is. I'm just going to give you a quick flip through while I'm talking. But anyway, this is basically what you're looking for. You don't have to color it. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. But make it your own, and make it everything that you learn from now on, whether it is from me, from someone else on YouTube, from the internet, from a book, whatever you learned that sticks out to you that you think you want to remember, go ahead and write it down. I can't stress that enough, because not only do you learn something from hearing it or reading it, from repeating it, but you also learn from writing it down. This will be the kinesthetic portion of your learning, whereas just reading it would be visual or hearing it would be audio. You want to combine at least two of those things, preferably all three, in order to really learn something. Now, you don't have to commit every stinking bit of this to memory. I sure as hell haven't. But over time, you will, after you have written this down so many times, you will be able to just spout it off. And you won't have to so much go back and look at what you're doing so much as just be able to put whatever you're planning on doing together, like a ritual or something like that. But that's it, just a very small spiral notebook. Now, this is my newer one. It's a little bit fancier because I know what I'm doing now, and I've pretty much got most of my information already in, except for, future rituals and stuff like that. So this, I just took a leather-bound journal that I got at Walmart for $10. It's got a bookmark in it and just regular old lined pages. I cannot use unlined pages worth my freaking life. My writing goes like this. And then I got some lace for $1, and I hot glued the lace onto the spine of the book, and then I put some little sequin thingies on there, and then on the spine I put Book of Shadows with my initials in rhinestones. So yeah, and I've got the lace on both sides. And I did have a little owl charm up here, but he fell off. I need to... Daisy. She is eating my Book of Shadows. Quack. Gross. Hi, Daisy. This is totally not part of the video, but anyway. I'll go ahead and flip you through this one. I'm actually working on this one right now as we speak. There's my book blessing. Like I said, I've got the Rule of 3, 13 Goals of a Witch. You may or may not know what all of these things are right now, but you will very, very soon. So you will be seeing these pages quite often as I am referencing things. But the first thing you definitely need to do is get a Book of Shadows, like I said. That's pretty much all I can tell you. Create some kind of book where you can keep all of your information that you learn, because I'm going to be asking you to write things down, to brainstorm things in your Book of Shadows and things like that as the days go on with this course. So, yeah. Grab you a piece of paper, a notebook, a journal, a pad of freaking sticky notes, anything you can find. If you have to, put it as a file on your computer for now, but I strongly suggest eventually writing it out by hand. Now, if you can't physically do that, that's another thing, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. Lesson number 1, get a Book of Shadows. And I will see you here in a little while for, well, that was activity 1, for lesson number 1, which is going to be the main definitions of witchcraft and paganism, what the differences are, and what some different categories that fall under paganism are. So I'll go ahead and give you that and leave you with that, and we'll talk at you here pretty soon. Blessed be.